That over 40% of its requests to transport supplies through Israeli checkpoints in Gaza were turned down last week. Under pressure from the US to...
It's actually today is April the 17th. April the 17th, 2024. And it's 7:30 in the morning. Let me see.
But the US says it's not just about food, but distribution, which is hindered by the almost...
It's actually 7:45 a.m. and
roads have been blown up along with health, water, and
once again, it's April the 16th, 2024.
It's not just about food. The problem is that malnutrition and famine is much more complex. It's much bigger.
There's not going to be any starvation in Dominica or anywhere else in the Caribbean. Just have to deal with folks who are just so irrational and being prideful of their own kind. Okay? So we are responding to a plea to starve all of Africa by white nationalists in the National Security Agency. I thought they were joking around. We thought they were joking around at first, but they were quite serious. They keep saying that our soldiers keep going to war, and they're the ones being subjected to amputations and stuff of that nature. They want all of Africa to be able to starve to death, and that's the only way they're going to live with it. We are not gonna take them seriously at all. I've never taken them seriously when it comes to anything like that. Obviously, but the Central Intelligence Agency and Interpol, we're gonna be quite assertive in making sure that they do understand that they cannot recommend anything unlawful, anything unethical, or nonsensical. So yeah, we are gonna have to be abusive to their egos in ways that you cannot imagine. Okay, and I'm not speaking of the soldiers who who've been subjected to amputations or injuries or whatever it may be. We're going to be quite abusive to their egos without breaching the law. We're going to be so good to the whole world. We are pretty sure that they are going to be oppressed psychologically without us intending to be torturous, but we're going to abuse their egos. And yes, what I've written yesterday on the issue of Black Power winning out is still honestly the truth. Black Power wins out. Okay? And that does not mean all black people win. That does not, I have not changed my philosophy at all. Okay? I remember them calling me a crack-ass nigger back in high school, a black nerd, a black white boy. So they cannot argue that I am some sort of extremist black nationalist who only wants black people to be happy, or they can't argue that I'm so white-minded that I don't see that there's a problem in only working with white agents. I'm the one who's making the points. Okay? You guys are not going to be allowed to make any points if it makes no sense. There's no sort of rule that says everyone needs to make their point and it be implemented in law and policy no matter what, because everyone has worked hard enough or everyone has struggled enough. That's by automation. We in heaven, we respond. The folks in heaven, including us dreaming here into this world from heaven, we know for sure that our system, our automated system of taking up the honest prayers, and we're not talking about closing your eyes and praying to my Father or me. We're talking about your honest prayers. Whatever struggle you go through, we take that into consideration in writing policy and in instructing the enactment of law. Okay? And everything else that matters. We're not gonna implement okay, so this is okay. Hold on. That's enough. No more happiness. We just took away the happiness. I cannot be happy about seeing Africans walking the streets. You know, one little thing. When I first saw how many soldiers came home from war with like amputated. And they said that I'm too nice of a person. They're gonna force me into hating white folks. Or they thought it actually worked. But anyway, I'm telling you, I'm gonna fear my thing. But anyway, we do incorporate the perspective of every, American immigrant and American born into policy, for the most part. That's what we do in leading the federal government of the United States and its subordinates. We do that secretly, and we do consider, and that naturally means considering those opposing each other. Okay, so that's why things take a while to get done. That's why progress takes a while, because we consider the perspective of all, good and evil, because evil has some sort of innocence in them, and usually they are made evil by the obstacles and hardships and struggles and tests and temptations of life. So we are very fair, okay? Things are, things are not, when everyone asks for perfection, then we know, or those who ask for perfection, moral and ethical perfection, then we know that the breadth of folks have passed a certain positive threshold. So that, okay, now it's time for us to get to pre-heaven. It's time for us, and in 500 years, it's time for us to take all of Earth and its constellation into heaven. Okay, so it's a scientific method in heaven that's only computed by computers that allow quantum computers to mimic what the computers in heaven can do 1,000,000 times faster and stronger. Since the whole universe is created by computer systems from a higher existence zone, or existence, well, you can say existence zone, and so forth. All right. Computers that communicate that theories of quantum computers are even primitive. Okay, so you guys are not going to be able to contest my logic or my resolves or my decisions, my judgment, my orders, my mandates, my prerogatives, my policies. You guys are not going to be able to challenge it and actually find victory, honest victory. When you guys dissent and you guys delay what has to be done, it's gonna be a bit more catastrophic. What you guys are gonna have to suffer for having disrespected God. The shocking ego that you guys must have to disrespect God is not commendable to anyone. You guys are not gonna say it's commendable to demons here on Earth or to Earth itself, and everyone on Earth is clearly a demon. Oh, well, that's you could argue that if you from the higher universe, that's what the citizens of the higher universe, when they look down on Earth, that's what they perceive of human beings. They say they're just too imperfect, and this and this and that. And we always humble the folks up there. I always humble. Well, me and my dad and Secret Service, we humble them. We say, well, human beings have something that you guys no longer have. They have a level of compassion, human compassion, for each other. And they're supposed to respect the higher civilization. And initially they do, until they're misguided into no longer doing so. But by innate nature, they respect what appears to be a higher civilization, and they have some level of human compassion and understand why they have to respect each other. In heaven, everything is automated in the higher universe. Everyone respects each other without knowing why, without having any emotional argument to why they ought to do so. Okay, that's the difference between the folks in the higher civilization and the folks here. Okay, but anyway. So this is what I'm going to write today. I'm going to write not the delay procedures. I'm going to write out the procedures for the evacuation of Manhattan, and in general, when it comes to staging events to curtail certain this and this and that, and to punish government and this and that. Okay? We cannot just let government get away with doing wrong and say we're going to slap you in the wrist, and the next time around we might slap you in the wrist, or we're going to slap you in the wrist again. Everyone has to know what has to happen and why it happened and why it ought never to happen again, because everyone is going to be too fearful to allow it to ever happen again by being good or better than they used to be, a whole lot better to each other. Okay? So I'm not speaking in riddles. and codes it off.